All right, hello everybody, welcome back. What you're looking at is my item set again. This time it's for Poppy support, and I'll be going over the different items that I get in certain situations, as well as the sort of cheaper starting items, which is what you see up here. Oracle is obvious. I get this at level 9 on all supports just for securing objectives. Pink Ward is obvious, you need that. You start Relic Shield with 3 potions. It's just the best sustain and the best all-in potential for any tank support, at least in the early game. So that's what I start every time. And then for boots on Poppy, there's a lot of different stuff that you can do. You don't have to always go Ninja Tabi or Merc Treads. That's just what I use because I think that it's the best. But you can go Moby Boots if you want to. You can go Boost of Swiftness. You can even go Ionian Boost of Lucidity if you don't plan on getting 40% CDR from your other items. So your boots are very flexible as Poppy support. But I like the tankier boots personally. And then for consumables, we have Elixir of Iron because that's what I get if I ever get into the hyper late game as a support. Then Elixir of Iron is the preferred consumable there. So that's why it's there. Overall, when I play Poppy support, I have 3 different builds that I end up with at 6 items. I always get Ruby Sightstone first. Well, actually, I get Sightstone first, and then I get my boots, and then I finish the Ruby Sightstone. That's how it really is. But as far as big items go, I always get Ruby Sightstone first, and then depending on whether I need the Aegis Aura early or not, I either get a Locket afterwards or I get a Talisman of Ascension afterwards. Now keep in mind, if you do get the Talisman, you have to eventually sell the Relic Shield for it. But it's worth it. It's 100% worth it, trust me. Talisman is really, really good. There's a whole bunch of reasons why this this item is just great. I use this on not just Poppy, but also on Alistar when I play Alistar support. It's amazing. It's great for initiating. It's great for carrying solo queue because playing proactively and picking targets off or doing a good engage is the way to carry solo queue as a support, at least in my experience. The item is pretty good overall. The stats are nothing to write home about, but it's pretty decent. 45 armor, 10% CDR. This build up here, the one up top, is the heavy armor build. So that's why we get the Frozen Heart immediately after the Talisman, is because the attack speed reduction aura is just necessary if the enemy team has a lot of fed ADs, or just a lot of ADs in general. That's why the Locket of the Iron Solari is so late as well. And finally, we just get Randuin's, just to get a good, solid health pool with a lot of armor and a lot of utility. You also have to consider that the passive from Sightstone makes it so that your active cooldowns are reduced, which means the more actives you have in your inventory, the more you're making use of your Ruby Sightstone. So Talisman of Ascension, the Locket active, even the slow active from Randuin's, it all gets reduced by Sightstone. So very good build, makes you extremely tanky overall, and gives you a lot of good utility for your team. If you're against a team that literally has no magic damage, which is almost never the case, especially not in ranked, but if it does happen, of course you can switch out the Locket for something else, but 9 out of 10 times, when you're going to be building heavy armor, you still want the Aegis Aura for your team. Okay, if we're against something that's a little more balanced, then what I do is I go Talisman into Locket, because the Aegis Aura is just that valuable. And, oh, by the way, the reason we don't go Banner of Command is because it gives AP, which is like, I mean, Banner, by all means, is a great support item because it allows you to have much more impact on the game than you even deserve to have as a support, actually. But it gives you ability power, and Poppy just doesn't make use of it very well. So that's why I always get Locket on Poppy. As far as the Iceborne Gauntlet goes, it's really, really strong on Poppy, obviously. It's one of the best items on Poppy in the game. The extra damage is kind of nice, but that's not what we're really buying it for. We're buying it for the slow. The reason why we get Frozen Heart up here is because if the enemy team really has that much AD, you need the attack speed reduction aura no matter what. Down here, it's not always the case that I get Iceborne, even with this build, Sometimes I have this build order, but I end up going Frozen Heart anyway, just because my team needs it to survive. But if my team doesn't need it to survive, then I'll go Iceborne because the extra slow is really nice. And finally, we finish off with the Randuins again, just to give us some more health and some more bulk. And then finally, the last kind of build that I use on Poppy, which is the magic resist prioritization build. You go Rebusite Stone into Aegis, finish the locket, and then I get the armor and the talisman after the locket. This is for if the enemy AP carry is really fed. Maybe the enemy team has more than one magic damage source, like they have an AP mid and an AP jungler or something. And you don't really feel like armor is as valuable a status or as necessary. If you feel like the Aegis is necessary, then you should get it before the talisman. And then simply just Banshees and Iceborne just for as much utility and tankiness as humanly possible. The Banshees is extremely, extremely nice against heavy magic damage teams. Not just for the spell shield, against like Nidalee or Blitzcrank Hook or fucking Elise Cocoon or whatever, but also just because it gives you 70 magic resist. It's literally the most magic resist you can get in the game from one item. So Banshees is really, really good against heavy magic damage teams. And then finally the Iceborne. Again, if you for some reason feel like the enemy team still has enough AD to justify Frozen Heart, you can get the Frozen Heart. But in most cases, when you're going to be building so much magic resist, you're not going to be building super hardcore armor anyway. So Iceborne turns out to be the better choice for the most part. But as you can tell, a lot of it is situational. Iceborne and Frozen Heart are pretty much interchangeable. You can use whichever one you want. I just kind of threw them in there like this because this is how I use the different items for the most part. But as long as you have a plan with what you're doing and as long as you're building according to the situation, you can't go wrong, really. So that's how I build the Poppy support. But yeah, if you want to play Poppy support, if you want to try this out, if you have played her, but you didn't play her with Talisman, I highly, highly recommend that you try Talisman. It is really good for carrying solo queue. And yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed and learned something useful.